babes, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my experiences after hospital after getting the gastric sleeve surgery. If you haven't seen my previous video, I spoke about my entire hospital experience and how it went. So I really do recommend watching that one before this one, as this one will be the part 2 to that video. So as I said in my last video, I am 1 month post-op surgery. So this is just me recapping my whole experience and letting you guys really know the insides and out of what I went through. As I said in the last video, everyone's experiences are different and everyone's experiences are valid. So if you guys want to let me know and talk about your experiences with me in the comments below, I would be happy to listen. As you guys will probably know, coming back from major surgery back to like home, you don't have like the things that they have there, like the drip and the liquids and all that sort of stuff. So you really have to take control of your health, and you need to make sure that you are getting those liquids in, because there's not going to be a nurse to come in every half an hour to be like drink. Luckily enough for me, my mum's been through it, so she was really on my ass about the drinking and stuff like that, so I didn't really have to worry about that sort of stuff. But you do have to take that into consideration, that once you get home, you really just gotta make sure you're motivating yourself to stay hydrated, because if you get dehydrated, that sucks and you might pass the fuck out. My first night home, I did have some pain, like some tender pain in my stomach. They did give me quite a few painkillers to use at home. I didn't find myself gravitating towards the really heavy painkillers they gave me. I pretty much was just using Panadol. That's all I really needed. You just have to be really careful. Like, you can't like move really fast. You have to take everything really slowly, not lifting anything and just trying to like stay put. They get you to go home with pressure socks as well, so you have to keep them on. They do recommend keeping them on for 2 weeks. I took mine off a little bit earlier just because they give you 1 pair of socks for 2 weeks, and like, yeah, I just like wanted to take them off because like they were annoying and stuff like that. Anyway, I do recommend keeping them on for the 2 weeks because I did find my legs start to cramp a little bit once I took them off. So getting home, it was I really like missed being at home, because the third night all I wanted to do was go home. So I was straight into my bed. I pretty much stayed in my bed for the first few days, not really moving much. I did get moved onto the couch, just like watch TV and stuff, but that's pretty much all I did. I'd taken 2 weeks off work because that's what they recommend you do. Some people take 3 weeks, but it's really up to your personal preference and what you do for work. I just took the 2 weeks off. I felt like that was enough. It's just like lounging around, being really careful, making sure not to move or anything like that could hurt. After the first week, you do start to feel a little bit more like you can walk around and like just do like stuff, but you really have to take into consideration that even though you feel okay on the outside, the inside is still healing, and it takes about 6 weeks for it to heal, as they do staple you up, and that really makes me panic knowing that my stomach is held together by staples. From that is why they make you stay on the strict diet. I have got a video already on my channel explaining the whole diet, what I had to do before and after. So if you guys want to listen and watch more of that, I'll link that video down below, or even up in this little boop. You can just press it, boop, press it, if you guys want to know all of those details. For the first week, I was on liquids. I was just drinking lots of water and broth. That's pretty much it. Like chicken stock and beef stock and all that stuff, that's pretty much what I was having. I was only able to have a teeny amount each time. So I was really just, it's like drinking like you're a baby. You are literally a baby, but on liquid. My first night sleeping, that was a bit uncomfortable, but I did feel more comfortable than I did in the hospital, just because I was in my own bed. The best way I found it was just to sleep on like my back. Even though I'm a side sleeper, I slept on my back, but I had like a pillow squished up on each side just to like kind of support me, so when I like move, I'm not like moving too much, and I felt very comfortable. In terms of my gas pain, I still did have a lot of gas pain. I just found myself walking around lots to get rid of it like I did in the hospital, so it was pretty much the same sort of deal with that. In terms of vomiting, I vomiting after having like my first like, not meal, but my first like liquid meal, I didn't really get any vomiting at all. I didn't find myself needing to vomit. The big thing about having the surgery is that they also cut out your hunger hormone, meaning that you no longer get the sensation of hunger. For me, it was a bit difficult because you need to retrain your mind to kind of know what your body needs. So instead of getting hungry, you start just getting like a bit of a pain, like a tender pain in your stomach. It's like it's not like a feeling of hunger, but it's more just like a feeling of, you know, you need to eat something or drink something in this stage. And that for me was pretty difficult because you also get that pain when you're full. But yeah, you need to try and retrain your brain to know when the signs are there that you are hungry, or retrain it into knowing that you're thirsty or that you're full, sort of thing. So it really is a big mental game with knowing your stomach and relearning the signs. For those 2 weeks, that was just me waddling around, having my broths and stuff. I think it was 1 week on liquid, and then I was on a denser liquid. So once I got onto denser liquid, I was able to actually, what I did is I got like soups and then strained them. Because soups are still a little bit too thick when you're onto that second stage. So I found myself just getting like pumpkin soups, pea and ham soups and all that, and just straining them so that I only really get the liquid out of it. And that was a really big like thing for me. I was so craving pumpkin soup the whole time. So I just like kept like straining it, and that's what I ate. I didn't find myself doing a lot of the shakes. A lot of people like to go onto the Optifast shakes afterwards as well. They're too thick for the first 2 weeks, I think, but I think after that people will start going onto them. I didn't find myself going onto them at all. After 2 weeks of that, I never wanted to see an Optifast product in my entire life ever again. But with like protein and stuff like that, a lot of people like they stress out about that like straight out of surgery. But your dietitian does retell you that your first 6 weeks is not about trying to get your protein in, trying to get the right amount of this in or that in. It's all about healing and what your body is telling you that you can handle. So my first day going back to work after my 2 weeks off was a little bit of a challenge for me, seeming that all I'd been doing for the past 2 weeks is laying on my ass, watching Vampire Diaries, waddling around and all of that stuff. I did find myself getting a bit lightheaded during the day because it was only a short shift, but because I wasn't used to standing up for that long yet, I did find myself getting lightheaded, and just I did have to take one of my anti-nausea tablets. I only had to do it once. My second day back at work, I was fine. I think it was that more initial shock of just going back into routine that like shocked my body and made me need it. Other than that, I was fine. So that was my first weeks back at home and my first day back at work sort of situation. Me now, I'm 1 month post-op. I lost 4 kilos on my pre-op diet, and a lot of people lose a lot more on the pre-op diet, but for me those sort of diets don't really work. So I think it's my metabolism just doesn't like them. So I only lost 4 kilos on the diet. In total, I've now lost 18 kilos since my surgery. It has been an adventure. As I said before, learning your body and learning what it needs now is completely different. You have to rethink food. Now when you look at a sandwich or look at something, you got to think like, how much protein is that? Is that going to be beneficial? You can only fit, I still only can fit like that much food in. You need to really be focused on what is going to be the best inside. So like potato, rice, pasta, all of that is still really like you kind of want to stay away from. So I was on solid foods about 2-ish weeks ago. I find myself not needing to vomit, not getting nauseous, not getting like anything like that. I do sometimes get lightheaded, but that's when I just find myself not drinking enough liquids. With my eating, I'm very much protein focused, making sure that everything I eat has a purpose. Like for breakfast, I'll have like baked beans or eggs, and in the middle of the day I'll have like a snack, so whether that be a bit of cheese and meat, or something like that. Satisfy me until lunch. Because you're having such small meals, you need to have more throughout the day, spreading it out. I find myself snacking. You just snack a lot more, because when you get that sensation of hunger, literally like 2 bites of something and then you're done. And then for lunch I'll have like some chicken, and then I will pretty much have whatever my family's having for dinner. So say if they're having that, we had butter chicken last night, I'll just eat the butter chicken. I won't eat the rice. Altogether, the whole experience, I will say, it's not an easy solution. It's not something that you should just full-heartedly go into it just because. I had to wait 12 months before I was even allowed to get it because I didn't have private health insurance beforehand. I think those 12 months were really good for me to reflect on whether or not I wanted to get this done, and I knew that wholeheartedly this is what I had to do and needed to do for me. This experience has been unlike any other experience. It's been crazy, it's been hard, it's been difficult at times. It's very much a very big mental game, as well as physically draining. You have to relearn everything that you've ever known about food. Like the way you eat, how much you chew, what you eat, like just all of that stuff and everything added together. It's big. It's a big mental thing, and you need to make sure that you are strong enough mentally and physically to do this, because it's not easy. So let's talk about my goals. So my personal goal for me is to get to 70 kilos. I have to cut it short. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you guys. See you next time. Bye.